In the vast, star-speckled darkness of space, General Krava of the Zorath Empire stood aboard his flagship, Dominance Eternal. Known across galaxies for his ruthless conquests and unmatched tactical brilliance, Krava was a legend, a symbol of fear for countless worlds. His reputation was carved into the minds of every species unfortunate enough to cross paths with the Zorath. Entire civilizations had crumbled at the mere mention of his name, and few dared to challenge his authority. Yet today, something was different. The general's cold reptilian eyes scanned the massive view screen before him. His fleet, a colossal armada of shimmering metal giants, had cornered a small blue planet called Earth. His orders were clear: invade, conquer, and subjugate. It was supposed to be another effortless victory, another world added to the long list of Zorath conquests. Reports from his scouts had been puzzling. The humans were not as technologically advanced as the Zorath, yet the scouts spoke of a tenacity that defied logic. Tales of humans pushing past exhaustion, of soldiers fighting through pain and loss with an almost terrifying determination, had made their way back to Krava's ears. Some had even whispered that humans had something the Zorath could not understand, a relentless will, a refusal to break, no matter the odds. But Krava had dismissed them as exaggerations, believing that no primitive species could challenge the might of his empire. Until now. The battle began with typical precision. Zorath forces rained down from the sky in sleek dropships, their advanced energy weapons ready to annihilate any resistance. They descended like a storm, confident that the planet would soon fall. Yet what they met was not fear, but fury. Human soldiers, vastly outgunned and technologically inferior, stood their ground with a ferocity Krava had never witnessed. They fought like beings who had nothing left to lose and everything to gain. Where other species would have surrendered or fled, humans charged. They defended every inch of their soil with unmatched resolve, using strategy, cunning, and a raw, unbreakable will. Krava watched in stunned silence as an entire battalion of his elite warriors was wiped out by a force of humans who should have been easily defeated. He saw human soldiers carry their wounded through fields of fire, refusing to leave anyone behind. He witnessed acts of bravery that defied reason, like a lone human soldier standing atop a burning tank, firing at approaching Zorath troops until his last breath. Another group of humans used outdated weaponry, setting traps that decimated his most advanced units. The humans adapted quickly, learned from every attack, and fought with a fire that couldn't be extinguished. Each scene carved itself into Krava's mind like a scar. This wasn't just a battle, it was something primal, something deeply human. It was a raw testament to their unwillingness to surrender, to let go of their home without fighting to the last breath. For the first time in his long, brutal career, General Krava felt something alien to him: doubt. The battle raged for hours, but Krava had already lost in his heart. It wasn't the firepower or strategy that had beaten him. It was the spirit of humanity, a spirit that refused to break, even when crushed under the weight of overwhelming odds. They fought not just with their weapons, but with their hearts, their memories, and their love for each other. He turned away from the screen, his scales dull with sudden weariness. The command deck fell silent as his officers awaited new orders, their expressions a mixture of confusion and fear. They had never seen their general hesitate, never seen him waver in his resolve, but there were none. Krava removed his general's insignia and placed it on the console with a soft metallic clink. The symbol of his power, of his entire career, meant nothing now. The victories, the conquests, the fear he once commanded, all felt hollow in the face of what he had just witnessed. "I quit," he said quietly, though his voice carried through the room like a thunderclap. Shock rippled through his crew. "General," one of his captains asked, unable to believe what he had heard. Krava didn't look back. "Set a course for Earth, not to conquer, but to learn." His voice was steady now, filled with a strange sense of clarity. The journey back to Earth was quiet. Krava spent days in reflection, haunted by what he had witnessed, that human strength wasn't in their weapons, it was in their heart, their unity, their refusal to surrender. Every moment of their defiance played on a loop in his mind. The fearlessness, the determination, It was unlike anything he had seen before. When his ship finally landed on Earth, Krava stepped onto the soil not as an invader, but as a stranger seeking understanding. The air smelled different here, alive and rich with the scent of resilience. He approached cautiously, hands raised in peace. Human soldiers, wary yet curious, surrounded him, weapons drawn but not fired. Their eyes were sharp, filled with suspicion and cautious respect. "I was your enemy," Krava said in halting English, his voice heavy with sincerity. "But I wish to understand your strength, not with weapons, but with words." The humans exchanged glances, unsure of what to make of the towering alien before them. Finally, one of them, a battle-worn captain with tired eyes and a scar across his cheek, stepped forward. There was a pause, a long, tense moment, before the man extended a hand. "Then let's talk, General," the captain said, his voice calm but firm. Krava took the hand, feeling the rough calluses of someone who had fought for every breath. And for the first time in his life, General Krava, once the terror of galaxies, felt something new: respect. And perhaps the beginning of true change. Over the following weeks, Krava spoke with soldiers, leaders, and even civilians. He listened to their stories of loss and love, of sacrifice and hope. He learned about their history, their struggles, and what drove them to fight with such determination. Every story chipped away at the hardened exterior of the warlord he had once been. Krava realized that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just survival, it was connection. The bonds they shared, their empathy, their ability to find hope even in the darkest moments. This was what made them formidable. In time, Krava became more than just a former enemy. He became a student of humanity, eager to learn, to grow, and perhaps to find redemption among the very beings he once sought to destroy. And for the first time, the terror of galaxies understood what it truly meant to be strong.